Long before the term climate change became a rallying cry for concerned Californians, the dairy community began seeking ways to improve its sustainability profile. The reason why is simple.
Well, as dairy farmers, we want to do what makes good business sense, but we also want to be sustainable because that's what we've been for generations.
Protecting the environment is a way of life for Kimberly Claus and fellow dairy farmers across the nation.
So now what I'm seeing is, and it's been so refreshing to see, is to see that actually the U.S. come together as an industry, and they're looking to see the impact that fluid milk has on greenhouse gases across the board.
Dairies throughout California are making tremendous progress toward shrinking their carbon footprint. According to the California Air Resources Board, dairies account for only 2.3% of the state's carbon greenhouse gas emissions. 70% are produced by the transportation and energy production sectors. Although dairy's share of greenhouse gas emissions remains relatively small, dairy farmers are working to further reduce their environmental impact. In light of the world's growing population, sometimes producing more means using less.
We will not have more arable land to grow more crops or grow more animals. We have to use what we currently have in the world to produce at least 50% more food. The question is, how do we do that?
Productivity is absolutely key to cutting resource use, cutting greenhouse gases, and improving sustainability.
Over the past 60-plus years, the dairy community has improved cow productivity through advancements in animal health, nutrition, and veterinary care.
So per gallon of milk, for example, we actually cut the carbon footprint by 63% over that 60-year period. So the more milk we can make with fewer animals, that means we use less feed, less land, less water. That also means less waste, and that also means considerably fewer greenhouse gases.
While the dairy community's reduction of greenhouse gas emissions is impressive, further progress is on the horizon.
Because the great news is, as dairy farmers, we have done such a tremendous job as far as reducing our greenhouse gases. And through the Innovation Center for U.S. Dairy, we're actually hoping to reduce greenhouse gases even more by focusing on projects that will affect greenhouse gases across the board. And by the year 2020, they want to reduce greenhouse gases by another 25%.
Improved cow nutrition is central to promoting better milk production, healthier cattle, and more efficient use of resources. And resource conservation takes many forms on a dairy, notably in cattle feed. Agricultural byproducts that historically end up in a landfill are now nutritious additions to a cow's healthy diet.
Citrus pulp, for example, a great deal, virtually all of the citrus pulp that's used to produce orange, grape, lime, lemon juice in the state would go into the dairy industry in the state as the wet product, and it would be integrated directly into TMRs.
Also part of the dairy community's carbon footprint? Transporting milk from the dairy to the processing plant. Emission standards today are more stringent than ever before.
We have a rule of thumb out here is that he who moves the most, the closest, is going to be the most efficient. And efficiency directly translates into how much carbon emission you can eliminate from the air. We've invested millions of dollars into our infrastructure to ensure that we have the fewest number of trucks on the road driving the fewest miles possible.
Inside the plants, conservation techniques are downright innovative.
Sustainability is very important to us, and it really goes back to one of the core values of our business, which is continuous improvement.
Producers' commitment to improvement led to developing a space-saving gallon jug.
Basically, it's a gallon jug that's smaller in size. It has a handle in the middle, and we can fit more gallons on the shelf. We can fit more gallons in a smaller space, so it's actually a more efficient gallon.
CDI is the largest milk marketing cooperative in California and the second largest in the United States. We have a responsibility for the environment, our community, and to our member owners themselves. It makes sense to do the things we're doing because it makes sense for our member owners to reduce their costs. It makes sense to reduce our carbon footprint for the environment, and it's the best thing for the community as far as energy uses and reducing our impact on what we do. This plant in particular has reduced its energy usage, that would be natural gas and electricity, by 20% on a gallon basis, which is a tremendous gain.
Like other businesses, the dairy community continues to reduce its carbon footprint by pursuing energy efficiency measures. Dairy farms also have the unique ability to generate renewable fuel and electricity from cow manure.
Well, we put this in 2003, actually started generating electricity in 2004. And this is the heart of the system. This is our 7-acre covered lagoon digester. 45 million gallons in this, and natural microbial action acts on the manure nutrients and produces the biogas, which bubbles up to the top in these billows, in these cells here.
We provide about 60% of our needs for our cheese plant on average. The system produces 700 kilowatts of electricity, and by doing that we reduce our consumption of fossil fuel propane by about 35,000 gallons per month, which is a big savings, and big environmental savings too.
The dairy community's mission to operate sustainably continues throughout California.
This is a land of opportunity. It's also a land that we need to take care of.
Like his fellow dairy farmers, Tony DeGroot continues to look for new ways to be a good steward of the environment. Take the way he brings water to his crops. Not only does it reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but it has the added benefit of improving air quality.
We've been pumping our water with diesel wells for quite some time. We have now been switching over to electric wells.
Sharing the land, the water, and the air with the community is as vital to dairy farmers as sharing their stories. The core of that belief begins at home, on the very dairies these families have been building for generations.
It's a daily lifestyle here. I mean, the change of the environment or caring for the environment is something you do every day.
Every day, people across the dairy community take steps to reduce their carbon footprint. From dairy farmers to the hardworking people who make high-quality dairy products for millions of American families. As research and innovation sparks even more ways to reduce climate impact, consumers can rest assured that the dairy community will put that knowledge to good use while providing delicious, nutritious, and affordable dairy products. Products that are good for people and good for our planet.
We can make a change in the world by managing what we do day to day.